Hi, everybody. This is Lunch with Lisa. I'm Lisa Shield, and it is lovely to see you all. Today, I am going to talk about a subject that is on everybody's minds. In fact, I have to say that no matter who I'm talking to on the phone, when I'm enrolling women in my 12-week emotionally naked dating course, the question they invariably ask is, are you going to teach us what the best dating websites and apps are? And I always think that this is the funniest question because, in truth, they're all good. I've had people meet people on every single dating app and every single website, regardless of all the stigma of certain sites like Tinder being a hookup site or sites like OkCupid not being worth it because, they let people on for free, although I know they charge now for a higher level membership. I hear this stuff all the time. So it's crazy, 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 crazy. But really, the most popular website of all, or dating app of all, is Tinder. And people say that it's a hookup site. And I think in the early days when people were first getting used to swiping, Tinder got the reputation of being a swiping site and a hookup site because Grindr, which is a gay site and is a hookup site, Tinder came right after Grindr, and they were both very closely linked in people's minds because of that. I have had women meet their future husbands on Tinder, on Bumble, on Hinge, on OkCupid, on Silver Singles, on eHarmony, every single website, so, and dating apps. So don't think that one is necessarily better than the other. Now, what does matter is what city you're in and what part of the country you're in. And, to take that even a little further afield, or take it a little broader, um, also what country you're in. So some sites are better in different parts of the country than other sites. And some sites are more notorious, like Hinge used to be one of the very, very best sites, and I know it still can be. Um, but Hinge started to get a reputation for having a lot of scammers. And then also, um, Coffee Meets Bagel. That was another one. Coffee Meets Bagel was awesome about 5, 6 years ago. And now it's got a reputation of also having a lot of scammers. Look, I'm going to be honest, scammers are on every single site, they are everywhere. And yes, you can go on something like Bumble and you can get you can get a verified profile, and that does help to a certain degree. But we even had a wonderful client of ours. She met a man on Elite Singles, and I know they verify their site, their profiles as well. And he turned out to be a scammer. So you can meet them anywhere. When you are online dating, you have got to do a reverse photo search. That's number one. You want to do a reverse photo search, and you also want to do something like peoplefinder.com. I do not care how reputable someone seems. I don't care how you met him. We have a client who met a man through her brother, through her own brother. He was a friend of her brother's, and really, a great guy, or so she thought. And he turned out, after a year, she never even thought to do a search on him. It turned out that not only did he have a second girlfriend, he had a wife and 2 kids. So you can never know. And it's really, really important to do a background check. Even my neighbor across the street, she was in a relationship with a man who turned out to be a total scam artist. They bought a home together, they started a business together, and she found out that he was a scam artist. So you can meet these people in real life, you can find them online. You know, my ex husband was a pathological liar and he borrowed money from people and never paid it back. So, you know, he was a kind of a scam artist as well. You just don't know, but a lot of these people will have a footprint somewhere and, you know, an online footprint, and you really need to do a search no matter who this person is, no matter how great he looks. We all just have to watch the Tinder swindler to know. And not only was the Tinder swindler incredibly successful at scamming women, he's still out there. So be careful. Don't just assume, oh, this site is safer than that site. I'm cool. I'm on a site that verifies profiles. All of those things can help. People do report scammers, and then, of course, the site will take those people down. But there's no guarantee. The best guarantee is to do your own due diligence to be safe. So when it comes to picking an online dating site or app, one of the things that I would really suggest you do is talk to people in your area and see what they're using and which ones they've tried and feel are more successful, because some of the sites are great in some cities and not so great in other cities. I remember when I lived in Los Angeles, Match.com was fantastic. Fantastic. I used to go on Match and I'd look, and it was like a smorgasbord of hotties. It was fun just to look at the hot guys that were on there some years ago. And then the apps became popular. You know, Tinder came out, then Bumble, and, you know, all Hinge and whatever. And because LA is so fast paced, because people are so social media savvy, they don't really want to spend the time on something like Match or OkCupid or Zoosk. They want to be on an app because it's quicker. You can swipe, 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 start communicating with some guy, and then bam, you could have a date for that night, right? So it's much quicker and it's much more conducive to the LA lifestyle or the New York City lifestyle than being on a dating website, reading the profiles, searching that way. I recommend personally in our program, my husband writes the online dating profiles for my clients. Some of you may be thinking, oh my God, well, that's not authentic, or, you know, he's writing for them, but how could that represent them? Actually, most of the women who go through our program think the profiles are phenomenal, and they are astounded by the response they get from the ones that Benjamin writes for them. And the great thing about that is he doesn't just make them up. He uses all of the homework that they do in the first month of this 12-week program. So in the first month, my clients don't date. They work on themselves. We really do help them put the pieces of the past together. They do a big, long history of all of their romantic relationships, including their mother and father. And we get them clear on what they need to look for in their next partner. It's a very intensive 4 weeks. And part of that process is that they will get new photographs taken, professional photos for their online dating. I was a professional fashion photographer for 15 years, so I helped guide them through the photo process. No glam shots, no makeup and hair and all. We want the photos to be very natural and real. and sensual, but not sexual. And what's great is that the women who do who go through the program, they, um, they wind up with these gorgeous photos because men are visual. And then they will, what else do I want to tell you? And then they send the homework that they've done from the first month of the course. And Benjamin takes that, and from that, he writes their online dating profile. So it's really an incredible process. And here's the deal, like it or not, everything is marketing. Everything, everything. So you can sit and think that you're special and unique and whatever, and that it has to be you and it has to be your profile and all. I'll tell you something about that. I have had professional writers, who work for the New York Times. I had a woman who was a writer for Hollywood, and she came to me to do her online dating profile because it's very, very difficult to write a bio about yourself. And so a lot of writers will actually hire a professional bio writer to do that for them. And so I've had people who are professionals. I've had people who were professionals seek me out to do that for them. So Benjamin writes these beautiful profiles. And what really starts to happen is for our clients, even when they've been on a site like Bumble or Tinder or Match.com in the past, when they post these new pictures and profile, they get the most amazing responses. And they're absolutely astounded at the difference, by the difference. So, what else do I want to tell you about this? Let me just think here for a second. Oh, I know, one of my favorite stories. So this, a lot of times women will say to me, well, where are all the good men? Like, where do I find the good men? Like, there's some special secret site where all the good men are hanging out, right? Some place where you could go. And believe me, if I knew where that place was, I would tell you. I'm not trying to keep secrets. There is no secret place. There are places where men congregate and all, but there's a great story about a woman. She's walking down the street in New York City and she runs into a girlfriend, one of her sorority sisters from college. She hasn't seen her in years and she's blown away. She's like, oh my God, you look fantastic. And her sorority sister says, yeah, you're not going to believe what happened. And she said, tell me. And she said, well, I met the love of my life and we're getting married tomorrow. She said, I'm just out shopping and picking up a few things, to get ready for the wedding. And the other woman says, oh my God, you look amazing. Tell me, like, where did you meet this guy? And her friend looks at her. Her friend looks at her and says, you're not going to believe this. I met him on the street. And her girlfriend says, what street? Like she's going to go hang out on that street and she's going to meet her guy. You can meet these guys anywhere, anytime, when your energy is open, when your heart is open, when you're not walking around rushing through your life and staring at your phone, when your eyes are open, when you're looking around at men and connecting with them and smiling at them, and you dress nicely and you really are in the moment, that's when you're going to meet these guys. It can be online, it can be out in the world, but there's no secret street corner that you're going to hang out on where all the cool guys congregate. It doesn't work that way. And in the same way, there's no website or dating app where you're going to find the best guys. In fact, I've actually heard more criticism about sites like Raya and The League, which are more exclusive. I think for Raya, you have to have a certain number of Instagram followers to be able to qualify to be on Raya. And The League, I think you have to be recommended to be on The League. It doesn't matter. I've heard people say that those sites are the worst of all. So, you've got to just try one. When you burn out on that one and you run through all the people, you have two choices. For some of the sites, if you hide your profile for a little bit, and I'm only talking about a few days, you can put it back up there and it puts you back up front and center in the search. So you can get some fresh meat that way. And then the other thing is you can try a different site. You can put up new pictures. You can, change up your profile a bit. But there's all kinds of things you can do to refresh it. And one thing I think everybody needs to know, sites like Bumble and Tinder, and especially Bumble, men, when there's a system, there's always people who are going to break the code, right? They're going to find a way to get around the system. So when it comes to Bumble, because the women make the first move, and on Tinder too, I think, I know that women don't make the first move, but I think men also do this on Tinder. They will sit and right swipe on every single woman, and then they'll sit back and see who right swipes on them. Do you get that? So a lot of clients will go on Bumble or Tinder or some of the swiping apps, and they'll say, I get all these guys who are interested, and then they don't follow through. That's why. So it may seem like there's better guys on those sites, or excuse me, it may seem like there are better guys on those sites, but the truth is a lot of times they're swiping and swiping on every single woman, and then they're sitting back and seeing who's going to swipe on them. So my best advice to you is don't make up a story about this site is better than that site or whatever. You may like some of the features of certain sites. I know I have one client who prefers Tinder, and specifically because she is in the film industry and she doesn't want her real age publicized. And so she's on that site because it allows her to go on without having to put her age down. You want to, so she likes Tinder for that reason. There are other sites that will let you be private and hide your profile, and then only swipe or reach out to the people that you really like. So your profile is otherwise hidden unless you reach out to someone. That's a special feature. I think on Match, they allow you to do that. There are sites like Bumble that allow the women to make the first move. So you can decide for yourself. The general rule of thumb that I hear is that the best sites of all are Tinder, Bumble. A lot of people like Zoosk, especially for women who are a bit older. Zoosk is a great one. There's a lot of men 50 and older on that site. Bumble is also a great site for women of all ages. And the one that I'm always surprised by, because I hate the name and I wish they could have come up with a better name, but I also have some clients who have met great guys on a site called Silver Singles. So those are the ones that I hear the best reports on. But again, you can meet people anywhere. You can meet a guy on any site. If one site starts to stop producing good leads, go to a different site. post a different profile, put up new photos, get some professional photos done. There's all kinds of ways to do this. Look, the dating websites and apps aren't perfect, but they do something that we never had when I was younger. When I was young, the only way to meet people was through friends and family and work, or just when you were out and about on your own. And I know that one of the things that was so hard for me when I was younger is that I didn't get a lot of dates. I didn't come across as approachable. I was reserved. I didn't connect well with men. And so for me, like it or not, good or bad, right or wrong, online dating gave me the opportunity to connect with far more men than I ever would have connected with otherwise. So there are some wonderful secrets to doing this successfully. My husband and I can help you with that. So if you're interested, hop over to lisashield.com. That is my brand spanking new website. It is amazing. It took me over a year to put it all together. There is a wonderful success stories page where you can see live, real interviews with my former clients, many of whom are now with what we call the guardians of their souls. And you can also hear from women who have done the course. There are lots and lots and lots of real testimonials from real clients. And you can find all over the site the button to watch my free 45-minute presentation. It is absolutely free. I just watched it again after not having watched it in a while, and it's really wonderful. The person who's going to be most critical of something is me. And I was really impressed when I watched it, objectively. I really thought it was amazing. And I hear that from the women who watch it. They will show me their little notebooks and say, look, I took notes. And they also say that most webinars are not very informative, but that they learn so much just from that free presentation. So check it out. If you like what you hear, stay to the end, because that's where you can hop on a call with me or a member of my team so that we can show you how to get this solved. Most of you are out there spinning your wheels, waiting for a miracle and wishing and hoping and praying that you'll meet your guy. This is the slow boat to love, to partnership, to the guardian of your soul. I can give you a roadmap that has worked for hundreds of my clients, hundreds, and it can work for you. It's the same roadmap I used to find my husband, Benjamin. So why waste any more time? Why go through any more heartache? Watch my presentation, stay to the end, and book a call. I do this podcast, Dating Without Drama, every single week. There are 2 episodes. There is Lunch with Lisa, and there's Getting Inside the Right Male Mind with my husband, Benjamin Shield. So please check it out. Tell your friends, your girlfriends, your sisters and mothers and aunts and uncles and brothers and your father, your mother. We have people who are telling everyone about the podcast. The beautiful thing about this podcast is what I hear from women all the time. Nobody is saying the things we're saying about this subject. We're trying our very best to help you all look at love and dating and partnership in a whole new way. So no leaning back, sitting on your hands, waiting for a man to chase you. That's ridiculous. Women today are strong and independent and capable. So we show you how to take the feminine lead, how to lead, but in a very feminine way, so that a man will want to chase you, so that he'll want to spend the rest of his life with you. You can go to my YouTube channel. You can subscribe and give us a thumbs up. I have really big thumbs, by the way. And then you can also send us your recommendations, your questions to podcast@lisashield.com. And one last time, please go to my new website, lisashield.com, and look around. I'm very, very proud of it. And I hope you enjoy it too. All right, everybody. This has been Lunch with Lisa. Thank you so, so, so much for being here. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.